Yo, what is going on YouTube? I am Germ here. Another day, another crazy hyped up IPO. It seems like we've been getting so many of these during 2020. It's been a ton of fun to follow, to get in on some of these, and to watch the ups and downs, the craziness of the market, all the speculation, all this stuff. It's been super fun. And today again, obviously, is the Airbnb IPO day. It has not started taking place yet. This is about 11:22 Eastern right now. I think yesterday DoorDash went live at about 1 p.m. Eastern, somewhere around there. So within the next couple of hours, we should see Airbnb hit the market. We should start seeing what kind of craziness this stock is going to be doing. Again, the initial IPO price was at about $68, but I believe the opening projection for once it hits the market is going to be around $145, which is pretty much doubling what it is right now, which is absolutely insane. Because already they have a $40 billion market cap valued at $68. So that's going to be doubling to around $80 billion on market open, which is just absolutely insane. But obviously IPOs have been all the rage so far in 2020. We've seen some absolutely insane ones. We've seen some crazy run-ups. We've seen some crazy falls. People are trying to get in all these hot new stocks, especially the ones that have opportunities to really disrupt markets. Obviously, yesterday we saw DoorDash. They opened up absolutely insane. It kept running, it exploded, and then it started to taper off a little bit as we got towards market close towards the end of the day. But today it's still, holding some of those crazy high levels. It'll be really interesting to follow to see what DoorDash, Airbnb, all these new companies, even PLTR, stuff like that, how they do in the coming weeks and months, especially if the market continues on its bull trend, or if it starts to taper off a little bit as a whole. What is going to happen to these companies? Are they going to fall more than the market? Are they going to fall less than the market? Are they going to hold their weight, hold their strength? But yeah, these really disruptive companies, disruptive industries like Airbnb trying to take over and compete with, obviously, hotels. And this is a company that is very popular with millennials, very popular with the younger generation. I think they have some staying power, and that's why, I and a lot of other people are really excited about them. Now, obviously, with IPOs, you always have to be careful. None of this is financial advice. I'm not recommending that you guys do anything. This is just kind of getting my thoughts and opinions out there and stuff. And just for entertainment purposes, of course, keep in mind, be safe out there, guys. These can be very volatile. These can be very crazy. Especially with IPOs, we're going to see a ton of moves. We're going to see huge runs up, huge spikes down. But Airbnb is a company I do like. It is very exciting. It is a company that I do use and enjoy using. I really do appreciate their service. I do value their service. And I think 5, 10, 15, 20 years from now, Airbnb is still going to be around. I believe they're going to be an absolute powerhouse in this field, in this market, in this industry. And that excites me as an investor. When we take a look at this article from MarketWatch talking about the IPO today, they talk about Airbnb is becoming a destination for stock market cash as shares in the company begin publicly trading Thursday. That is today, Thursday, December 10th. We're getting hyped up for the IPO. The tricky proposition has become even trickier amid a glut of 2020 IPOs that make new stock buy-ins seem tantalizingly attractive. Yes, we've seen all of these crazy new companies. Wednesday marked the first day of trading for DoorDash, which ended up being down 5% from where it opened, which ended its New York Stock Exchange debut, which shares up more than 80% off the IPO price, which is absolutely insane. And really, we're expected to see similar things in Airbnb today, which is going to be crazy. Even though the overall stock market didn't have that great of a day yesterday, obviously Dash saw some crazy runs up and then obviously tapered off a bit, like I said. Airbnb is in an interesting spot because obviously they are a company that kind of feeds off of travel. People traveling around, needing places to stay, wanting places a little bit more nice or a little bit cheaper or whatever than hotels. And obviously with the pandemic going on, with COVID, with Corona, all that stuff, that has been tough. That has been tricky. They've needed to find new ways to make money, to get their name out there, to get people staying in places again, to get people traveling around. And we don't know how long this pandemic is going to continue into 2021. The future could be bumpy for companies like Airbnb. It's going to be tough for them to continue on. But that does not mean the future is not bright. That does not mean there's not exciting things ahead. But they say don't invest just because you think you know the brand. It's easy to understand how Airbnb works. After all, more than 4 million hosts have accommodated the arrival of 825 million guests since the company's founding in 2008, which is absolutely insane. But the flip side, experts are cautioning that knowing a company's service and even using it is different from understanding its investment risk. Familiarity with a brand and emotional ties to a brand aren't a sound basis for investments. You do have to be careful. Obviously, they are going to have their own hurdles. There are going to be, there is, they talk about zoning restrictions a little bit. There is potential in the future for Airbnb to kind of get hit with some regulations and stuff like that that could potentially hurt their brand. It could potentially hurt their ability to profit. It could hurt their potential monetization. Obviously, people have a lot of questions about the overall current valuation of the company because a lot of it is speculative. A lot of it is forward-looking. A lot of it is, factoring in a ton of future growth, especially as we see this huge run-up from $68 to $145 per share that we're expected to see it open. But there's been people saying there's a ton of crazy valuations for a lot of companies right now. Obviously, we've seen the run up of Tesla this year from like $400 or whatever to like $3,000 it's at now pre-split price. And people have been saying that's been completely overvalued the whole way up. We've seen snow recently. We've seen PLTR. There's been all these crazy things. And just because those are seeing crazy run-ups doesn't mean Airbnb is free money. It doesn't mean that DoorDash is free money, but it just means that these things are possible. You need to do your own research. You need to form your own conclusions. There are people saying Airbnb is an amazing investment. They are saying stay the hell away from Airbnb. It could be the worst investment in your life. I think the truth is always a little bit in between. You do need to check it out. Obviously, it's usually safe to wait a couple of weeks, wait a couple of months to see how these IPOs go, to kind of shield yourself from some of that volatility, shield yourself from getting in at a terrible price and kind of just being demolished right at the beginning, where shares are going to be moving all over the place and it really could break either way in a huge way. But that's the fun of it. People love IPOs because they're crazy, because they're volatile, and it's going to be really, really interesting and fun to watch. But yeah, this is going to be taking place today in just a couple hours. It's going to be interesting to see how crazy it goes. I'm going to be looking at it if things are trending upward, if the market as a whole today looks like it's doing good, I'll probably try and get my hand in. But this is definitely a company I'm excited for the future. And whether I buy in now or in a couple weeks, in a couple months, whatever, this is a company that I am going to be really, really wanting to get a part of, holding for the future, because I'm very, very excited about this company, about this brand, and the future for all of it. But that is pretty much it for this video today, guys. Definitely drop a like, enjoy it, leave a comment down below. What are you doing with Airbnb? Are you buying it today? Do you plan on buying it in a couple weeks, in a couple months? What is your guys' plan, or are you staying away from this entirely? I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions. Subscribe to update on my latest content. Hopefully catch you guys in the next one. But until then, peace.